Now let us see why M. Hamel blames himself and the people of Alsace for his students' unsatisfactory progress in studies. So while French was thinking of all this, he heard his name called out. Now it was his turn to recite the rules of the participles. Now see how did French perform when his turn came to recite the rules of participle. As we already know, French was in an emotional state because of the news from Berlin, which affected French very deeply. He was eager to study, and so he was desperate to show his eagerness. In the book, please mark this line. What would I not have given to be able to say that dreadful rule for the participle all through, very loud and clear and without one mistake. So he was eager to study, and so he was desperate to show his eagerness. He wanted to be able to recite the rules of participles loud and clear in one go, and without any mistake, and please his teacher, but unfortunately he couldn't. It seems that he is willing to give away all that he had in return for reciting the lesson well in order to show respect to his teacher and love for his language. But unfortunately, he got mixed up on the first words. His heart was beating fast as he was embarrassed, and he didn't have the courage to face the teacher because he had not learned the rules of participles as he had missed classes. He did not know much about it. But M. Hamel did not reprimand him. He just simply persuades him. I'm going to read out this important portion from the book. I heard M. Hamel say to me, I won't scold you, little Franz. You must feel bad enough. See how it is. Every day we have said to ourselves, Bah, I have plenty of time. I will learn it tomorrow. And now you see where we have come out. And that's the great trouble with Alsace. She puts off learning till tomorrow. Now students, please underline this statement. That's the great trouble with Alsace. She puts off learning till tomorrow. Very important line. So M. Hamel told Franz that he would not scold him, as he knew that Franz was already feeling bad about it, for not learning his lessons well, for not using the opportunity well, and now he was not able to recite the participles properly. And then here M. Hamel highlights the human tendency to procrastinate, means put away things for tomorrow, means postponing things, and talks about the general attitude of the people of Alsace. Every day or the other, people keep postponing things to a later date. Sometimes you all also postpone your lessons because of tiredness or anything. We keep on postponing things to a later date. People keep postponing things to a later date and told himself that he would study the next day, and as a result sometimes things take a U-turn and they don't get time to fulfill what they intend to, and that delay in action will lead to destruction sometimes. The same thing applies to friends who seeks other childhood pleasures instead of learning his own language and is now feeling guilty. He regrets for not taking his lessons properly, as he was now unable to learn his language properly. M. Hamel said that it is because of the students have often postponed their learning till tomorrow, and so they are unable to say anything properly now. This statement, that's the great trouble with Alsace. She puts off learning till tomorrow, which I already told you that it is one of the important statement in the chapter. Here the writer brings home a very important aspect in life which we all prone to, that sometimes that is the act of procrastination, means to keep postponing things, as we have already discussed in our first slide. This is the problem of the people of Alsace, who puts off learning till tomorrow. That is the act of procrastination. And because of this laid-back attitude, careless attitude of the people of Alsace, they are now suffering. M. Hamel understands the nature of the people of Alsace. He knows the situation France was in. So instead of scolding the child, he makes him understand. He comes up with such consoling and comforting words which in themselves are very, very impactful. He points out the mistake of the people at large, which is their habit of postponing things until tomorrow. They have not made best use of the time at their disposal. They wasted it thinking they have time till tomorrow to learn their language. The opportunity that French people had to study their mother tongue had ended, and they knew nothing about their mother tongue. M. Hamel explained to the last class that postponing learning, thinking that one had plenty of time to do so, was the main reason for the people of Alsace not having learned their mother tongue properly. And it is all because they think they had plenty of time, not using the opportunity they had at the time. And now those fellows, here he means Prussians, now they had all the right to mock them, asking, means the German will laugh at them and would ask them that they all claim to be Frenchmen, but they could neither speak nor write their own language properly. It means they are going to make fun of the people of Alsace, as they don't know how to write and speak their own language properly. He makes them understand that where they have gone wrong, not being too authoritative, but being sympathetic. In this part, we will see how were the parents and M. Hamel responsible for children neglect of the French language. M. Hamel says, "But you are not worst, Franz. We have all a great deal to reproach ourselves with." Now, reproach ourselves with means to blame oneself or someone or some group of people for something. M. Hamel did not put the entire blame on little children or on the students for not being able to speak or learn their language properly. But all the people shared the same responsibility and everyone was at fault. He talked about their parents who were not anxious, means worried to know what their children had learned or interested about their children's education. But the parents were more interested in sending their children to farms, to meals, to earn some extra money so that they can supplement the income of the house. And as his speech continues, M. Hamel himself shared some part of the responsibility. Although M. Hamel was a sincere teacher, but somehow he lapses here and there. Often he sent the students to water his plants in the small garden instead of making them learn their lessons, or give them a holiday when he wanted to go for fishing, and stop classes for his own motives. So the unsatisfactory progress of the students, he himself takes some part of the responsibility as well instead of putting entire blame on the students. That is one more hallmark of being a good teacher who has this sort of understanding. With Hamel's reflection, Daudet shows how Hamel, like French, regrets not having been more diligent when he had the chance. This whole aspect highlights another sub-theme of the chapter, that is, students' and teachers' attitude to learning.